Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Join us as we dive into the world of Disastrous Necromancer, where we'll unravel the mysteries of Lin Moyu's quest to become the strongest. From hidden secrets to epic battles, we're here to give you an exclusive look at the story before anyone else. If you're a fan of fantasy, necromancers, or just love a good adventure, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like, comment, and share to support the channel, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a chapter. Let's start the journey. Title: The Power of Belief.
Lin Moyu was a blank slate when it came to the power of belief. Apart from what Antares had mentioned, that the power of belief could increase the speed of comprehending laws, he had no other information. In fact, it did have this effect. Later, when he broke through to the God King realm, he used the power of belief to activate the Mirror of Belief, which made him realize that there were special treasures specifically designed for the power of belief. The power of belief, being one of the fundamental forces of the human race, was certainly not simple. This was something Lin Moyu had believed from the beginning. From the 4-star region competition, Lin Moyu still couldn't discover the specific uses of the power of belief. The cultivators of the White Tiger Star region didn't seem to have anything special about them, at least not that he could see. So Lin Moyu was always puzzled. Was the power of belief too weak, or were the White Tiger Star region cultivators not proficient in its use? This time, he decided to explore for himself to see what the power of belief truly entailed and why it became one of the fundamental forces of the human race. First, he checked the information from the Human Emperor Network. There was a lot of information about the power of belief in the Human Emperor Network. Through this information, he could form a systematic understanding, similar to runes. By understanding the system, he could better comprehend other materials and insights without being misled. When the information about the power of belief was unlocked, Lin Moyu felt as if he had seen a whole new world. Countless predecessors of the human race had conducted in-depth research on the power of belief, ultimately concluding that it was a peculiar force, existing between reality and illusion. It seemed to be a manifestation of some illusory law, something that shouldn't exist in the world, yet it did. The power of belief had significant effects, the most well-known being its ability to help comprehend laws. However, this assistance wasn't always available. It only worked when one had reached a bottleneck in understanding a law and couldn't break through after a period of time. In Lin Moyu's understanding, the power of belief was like a hammer that could break through the wall of a bottleneck, allowing one to continue progressing. Of course, the stronger the bottleneck, the more power of belief was needed. For the cultivators of the White Tiger Star region, most lacked sufficient power of belief. It was useful at lower realms but became less effective at higher realms. Therefore, the average realm of White Tiger Star region cultivators wasn't much higher than other star regions. The second use of the power of belief was to activate and drive some special treasures. However, these treasures were mostly auxiliary and not powerful offensive treasures. The first two uses were the most common and frequently used because they required relatively low amounts of power of belief. As for the other uses of the power of belief, the requirements were much higher, and the number of users significantly decreased. Most cultivators couldn't meet the requirements. The root of the power of belief lay in the thoughts of countless beings. It wasn't a matter of hundreds or thousands but required the collective thoughts of billions of beings to form sufficient power of belief. Once enough power of belief was gathered, it could achieve the third use, amplifying spells. The power of belief could attach to any spell, amplifying its effects. Whether for defense or attack, as long as it was a spell, it could be amplified. The amplification effect had no upper limit, ranging from the weakest 1-fold to the strongest infinite-fold, depending on the amount of power of belief consumed. Besides these three uses, the power of belief had many other uses, increasingly mysterious and seemingly beyond what laws could achieve. However, the requirements for the power of belief also increased explosively. For example, purifying the soul. With enough power of belief, one could purify the soul, enhancing its realm. For many cultivators, enhancing the soul's realm was an irresistible temptation. The power of belief could also be used for deduction. According to one piece of information, the power of belief could deduce all kinds of laws, having incredible effects at the God's sovereign realm, though no specific details were provided. Additionally, the power of belief had other uses, but these were too advanced to be recorded in the materials Lin Moyu could access. Just by looking at the ubiquitous towers of belief in the Divine City, where even beings of the other shore realm collected the power of belief, one could understand its significance. Even at the other shore realm, the power of belief could still play a powerful role. Lin Moyu even suspected that the power of belief might truly shine at the other shore realm. Finally, he had a systematic understanding of the power of belief. Next, I need to refine the power of belief and truly make it my own. On the back of the skeletal dragon, Lin Moyu's palm gradually outlined a special rune. This rune was a basic rune called the refining rune. Its purpose was to assist in refining, melting some materials. Lin Moyu used his other Shore Realm soul, assisted by the power of belief, to draw the rune. When the rune was completed, it automatically exploded, turning into a transparent, illusory flame. This flame could refine the power of belief. Lin Moyu had collected a large amount of power of belief, but it varied in strength and was full of impurities. Although he could use it, the effect was not ideal. After refining, the power of belief would become pure and truly his own. The transparent flame exploded again, enveloping his entire body. Countless illusory impurities rose from Lin Moyu's body, and various sounds echoed in the void. These were the impure thoughts within the power of belief, now being refined and discarded. With the assistance of his powerful soul, the rune was very strong, and the refining process was extremely fast. In just 2 days, Lin Moyu had refined all the power of belief. A total of 3,200 units of power of belief. Every day, the power of belief increases by about 10 units. Lin Moyu counted the refined power of belief, using units as the measurement. This method was also mentioned in the materials. Since the amount of power of belief each provider could offer varied, it couldn't be specifically counted by the number of people. It could only be measured uniformly after refining and merging. 3,212 units of power of belief were already an astronomical number for countless cultivators. Compared to when he advanced to the God King realm and activated the Mirror of Belief, which required only 1 unit of power of belief, the increase was now thousands of times greater. If he used 10 units of power of belief, he could double the effect of any spell. Using 100 units could amplify it 5-fold. Using 1,000 units could amplify it 10-fold. The more power of belief used, the weaker the amplification effect, a marginal effect Lin Moyu fully understood. Theoretically, as long as there was enough power of belief, spells could be infinitely amplified. This was a terrifying ability, and even Lin Moyu was amazed. Just this one ability was enough to make countless people covet it. Lin Moyu seemed to understand why beings of the other Shore realm collected so much power of belief. If their spells were further amplified. Just thinking about it was frightening. Suddenly, Lin Moyu's expression became strange as he thought of a possible clever trick. Skeletons appeared around Lin Moyu. He ordered the skeletons to express devotion towards him. The skeletons were already loyal to their master Lin Moyu with unlimited devotion. No matter what command he gave, even if it was unreasonable or ordering them to go to their deaths, they would obey without hesitation. Under such devotion, Lin Moyu commanded them to express devotion to him. Time passed second by second, but Lin Moyu felt nothing. The void was silent without a sound. The atmosphere became a bit awkward. This shouldn't be the case. Lin Moyu felt it was strange. According to his guess, this shouldn't have happened. Although the skeletons were his summons, they had their own lives. Although they were undead, their life form was special, they did possess life. The soul fires in their skulls were the best proof. The power of belief did not require the other party to have wisdom or to think. Even an insect, as long as it was devout enough, could provide the power of belief. All his thoughts seemed correct, but in the end, the skeletons did not produce any power of belief towards him. Where did I go wrong? Lin Moyu pondered, recalling the materials and reconsidering all possibilities. Suddenly, he thought of the towers of belief. In the towers of belief, there was an array that seemed to gather the power of belief. This array was formed by runes. If he could construct this array himself, perhaps he could collect the power of belief. An array that can collect the power of belief. Lin Moyu searched for information about this array in the Human Emperor network and finally found it. Belief array. The array can form an area. People within the area will naturally express devotion and offer the power of belief. Asterisk. Seeing the description of the belief array's function, this was indeed what he needed. Within the area covered by the array, as long as the people inside did not consciously resist and were told a name, the array could automatically collect their power of belief. The array would guide the people inside and not cause any harm to them, as long as they did not resist. This was why the scene in the Tower of Belief had occurred. Whether it was skeletons, death knights, or even slaves in bone hell, as long as they were Lin Moyu's summons, they had no consciousness to resist. If he set up this array, he would very likely succeed in collecting the power of belief. Lin Moyu estimated the probability of success to be over 99%. Belief array, *** in the Human Emperor network was not provided for free. It required exchanging Divine City merits. The price was extremely expensive, requiring 500 Divine City merits. 500 Divine City merits was an astronomical sum. For many initial cultivators, they would need to complete 50 Secret Realm tasks successfully to earn 500 Divine City merits. Secret Realm tasks were extremely dangerous, and one could easily die inside. To spend 500 Divine City merits just to exchange for this array was unnecessary. Only those who had established families and sects and pursued the power of belief would spend such a high price to purchase it. After considering for just a minute, Lin Moyu made his decision. He communicated with the Human Emperor Network, purchase the belief array. After verification, you meet the requirements to purchase the belief array. Asterisk. Purchasing the belief array requires 500 divine city merits. Please confirm if you want to purchase. Asterisk. Lin Moyu did not hesitate to reply, confirm purchase. In the next second, 500 divine city merits were deducted, and Lin Moyu obtained detailed information on how to set up the belief array. Eagerly checking the information, Lin Moyu frowned slightly. The information on the belief array brought him one good news and two bad news. The good news was that the belief array did not require any materials. It was a pure rune array that only needed runes to set up. This meant Lin Moyu did not need to collect additional materials. The materials for setting up arrays could cost tens of thousands, and collecting them was not easy. Some materials were not only rare but also expensive. Some could not be bought even with money. The first bad news was that these runes were somewhat difficult, and most of them were not yet mastered by Lin Moyu. The second bad news was that setting up the array required using the power of belief to draw the corresponding runes, and the consumption of the power of belief was very high. The belief array consisted of 1200 sub-runes and one main rune. Setting up a complete belief array required consuming 2000 units of the power of belief. If the setup failed, the 2000 units of the power of belief would dissipate, completely wasted. In other words, he could only fail once. If he failed once, he would have to wait some time before attempting to set it up again. Lin Moyu began to ponder the probability of successfully setting up the belief array. After a moment, Lin Moyu's brow relaxed, revealing confidence again. Although there are some difficulties, it is not impossible. If successful, it will be a huge boost to my combat power. According to his calculations, he had at least a 60% chance of successfully setting up the belief array. 60% was not high, but it was enough. With this decision, the next step was to master these runes. Currently, there were 60 days left before reaching the initial 12,301 life star system. In reality, 40 days had passed, while in the Human Emperor training ground, 4,000 days had passed. Previously, he had spent 3,000 days in the Human Emperor training ground learning runes, and then another 1,000 days learning about the power of belief. He had exhausted all 3,500 days of training time in the Human Emperor training ground and had been using points for the remaining 500 days. 5 million points had been used at 100,000 points per day. He decided to spend the remaining time in the Human Emperor training ground as well, taking advantage of the time acceleration ability of the Sea of Laws and exchanging points for time. He aimed to master the runes needed for the belief array before reaching the initial 12,301 star system. With 60 days remaining, it would be 6,000 days in the Human Emperor training ground. At 100,000 points per day, it would be 600 million points. Lin Moyu's previously earned points would be completely consumed. However, if he succeeded, Lin Moyu felt it was worth it. Lin Moyu did not mind the points, he could always earn more. Time was the most precious resource. His consciousness returned to the Human Emperor training ground, and his consciousness body regained its brilliance. His soul used its dual capabilities, connecting both reality and virtuality. In reality, Lin Moyu took out the rune language, while in the virtual realm, he began to comprehend the runes on it, taking advantage of the time acceleration. The runes used in the belief array were partly basic runes and partly high-level runes, both recorded in the rune language. The only difference was that the power of belief needed to be added during the drawing process. For others, it would be very difficult, but for Lin Moyu, it was acceptable. His other Shore Realm soul and astonishing recovery rate of 3.0 gave Lin Moyu great confidence. In the core area of the Divine City, the experts of the other Shore Realm began discussing again. For them, in the long passage of time, it was rare to see something novel. Oh, Lin Moyu just asked the Human Emperor Network to purchase the information on the belief array. What does he want to do? Could he be planning to set up the belief array? Why would he set up the belief array? You're being silly. The belief array is naturally for collecting the power of belief. But where would he get believers? Don't forget how many summons he has. Using summons as believers, how absurd is he? It is indeed absurd. One belief array can only cover a small area and accommodate a limited number of believers. What if he sets up more than one? Having imagination is good, at least better than us. Lin Moyu continuously practiced the runes from the Fuyu book, but he only mimicked the movements without actually drawing them. A strange sense of familiarity surged within him, making him feel as if he had seen these runes before. However, no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't recall where he had seen them. Lin Moyu remembered the advice of the old man fishing, he wouldn't actually draw the runes in the human emperor training ground. He only mimicked the movements, having form but no essence. Once he truly mastered the runes, he would enter a period of dormancy. During this dormancy, his consciousness would return to his body, and he would attempt to draw the runes in the real world. He would draw the runes needed for the belief array and infuse them with a portion of the power of belief. This way, he could verify whether the runes were successfully drawn. Drawing runes was not easy, and failure was not an option, so he had to be fully focused and couldn't multitask. Due to the difference in time flow, every time he drew runes in the real world, Lin Moyu would be dormant in the human emperor training ground for a long time. During dormancy, Lin Moyu appeared to be resting, showing no signs of activity. However, he couldn't hide this from the old man fishing. The old man knew very well that every time Lin Moyu entered dormancy, it meant he had mastered a new rune. His speed in mastering runes is astonishingly fast. How does he do it? Let me take a look. With curiosity, the old man's eyes sparkled with brilliance. His gaze penetrated the illusion of the human emperor network, following a special trajectory, and saw Lin Moyu in the real world. In the real world, Lin Moyu was drawing runes with smooth and natural movements, exuding an indescribable beauty. The old man observed and commented, "His proficiency is very high. It's hard to believe he's a beginner. Even those who have practiced for over 100 years might not reach this level. This is a true genius in the field of runes." Suddenly, the old man's eyes narrowed slightly. He saw the Fuyu jade book in Lin Moyu's hand. The old man was puzzled. Isn't Fuyu in the hands of Elder Shu? Could he be Elder Shu's disciple? Who exactly is this young man? Did I miss something? He suddenly smiled self-deprecatingly. I'm getting old and confused. I can just check. With his status, he could access any information in the human emperor network. Even hidden and secret information was accessible to him. He first saw Lin Moyu's name. Lin Moyu, this name sounds familiar. 4th level of the God King realm, an average level, barely acceptable. 37 years old. At this, the old man couldn't stay calm. He thought he was seeing things, but after checking several times, he confirmed that Lin Moyu was indeed 37 years old. His eyes were filled with indescribable shock. He suppressed his shock and continued to check Lin Moyu's various records and life events. He had comprehended first-tier laws with the ability to heal the soul. He had received military honors, overachieved in the second chain task, directly obtained Divine City qualifications, and was granted primary permissions. He was the first place in the 4-star region competition. He had killed enemy god sovereigns. He had cleared the Poison Bee secret realm. Each record was incredibly dazzling. Lin Moyu was like a bright star in the human race, impossible to ignore. Previously, the old man found Lin Moyu interesting but didn't pay much attention. Over the years, countless geniuses had come and gone, few worth his attention. But now, the old man swore that in his long life, he had never seen a second person as talented as Lin Moyu. Great fortune for the human race, the old man exclaimed. If such a person appeared in another race, they would spare no effort to destroy him. But now, Lin Moyu had appeared in the human race, so they had to protect him at all costs. However, this protection couldn't interfere with his growth and had to be done secretly. The Human Emperor Network's records on Lin Moyu were very detailed, even noting whether Elder Shu had taken him as a disciple and why he hadn't. This way, other beings of the other shore realm wouldn't take Lin Moyu as a disciple either. Cultivating Lin Moyu emphasized freedom. The old man also understood why Elder Shu had given Fuyu to Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu indeed had talent in this area. In such a short time, he had already mastered basic runes and started learning to draw high-level runes. Watching Lin Moyu skillfully draw runes, the old man couldn't help but sigh, this is a true genius. He withdrew his gaze, closed his eyes again, and continued his endless fishing. As he withdrew his gaze, a thought crossed countless distances in the real world and landed on Lin Moyu. This thought had no malice and was of an incredibly high level, unnoticed by Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's movements became smoother. Initially, he was a bit unfamiliar, but by the time he drew the 10th rune, he was already fluid and natural. The entire process had a special beauty, pleasing to the eye. His fingers danced in the air like a dance, using soul power as a pen to draw beautiful notes in the void. One rune after another was drawn and infused with the power of belief. After infusing the power of belief, the runes became illusory and hazy. This change indicated successful drawing. Fuyu appeared to have only a little over 100 pages, each recording a rune. Each rune could be broken down into many smaller runes. For example, Fuyu had a fire-type rune, but this rune represented the general outline of all fire-type runes. From it, various fire-type runes could be derived, from 3rd-tier ordinary flames to 2nd-tier special flame laws, all could be explained by this rune. Other laws were the same. Each rune in Fuyu was equivalent to the general outline of a certain type of rune. The general outline could be broken down into different runes with different functions. Runes could even be combined, either high-level combinations or combinations with ordinary runes. In this way, the number of runes was infinite. However, runes had a characteristic: the higher the level, the stronger the inclusiveness. Often, a single rune could contain hundreds or thousands of other runes. The most extreme example was the Great World Rune. The Great World Rune was just one rune, but it could support the entire Great World, encompassing all techniques and laws. Lin Moyu didn't aim to master all runes for now, that was unrealistic. The runes he was currently learning were those needed for the belief array. In total, there were about 100 runes. Among them, basic runes accounted for nearly 70%. The truly high-level runes were less than one-third. These high-level runes were recorded in Fuyu, but some required transformation. This was not difficult for Lin Moyu. One by one, Lin Moyu mastered the runes, becoming increasingly proficient. At the same time, the sense of familiarity between him and the runes grew stronger. This feeling was very strange, and he didn't know why it was happening. By the time Lin Moyu had fully mastered the required runes, the 100-day journey had already passed 95 days. In another 5 days, he would reach the initial 12,301 life star system. While 95 days had passed in the outside world, Lin Moyu's consciousness had spent 9,500 days in the human emperor training ground.